to get this back up? Okay,
Awesome.
there it goes.
Hey, we're back.
There you
Okay.
go. Go ahead.
So anyway, this one's a hard one for me to answer just because when have I not worked? I can't narrow it down. I mean, I work with diverse personalities every day, all day. It is really just what I do. I've worked prior to my life in real estate. I worked for Bed Bath & Beyond for 5 years, managing big box operations. I did the training and hiring, so I would have to train a 58-year-old and an 18-year-old together on systems. I mean, you talk about the challenges, I've faced them, and so I think it's just about knowing who your audience is, and really listening. I think that's the biggest. What do they need, and how do you communicate with them specifically?
Very good. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
Ms. Stinson, it's good to see you again. Chelsea.
Hello, Chelsea. Yes, nice to see you.
We would love to hear what you love most about living in Inglewood.
Yeah, so my husband bought our house 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So and I moved in 2012, and I've been here a long time. He was native. So I love the community. I love the people. Really, I think the thing that has grown on me the most over this time is that Inglewood is a champion for small businesses. The small businesses thrive here. I'm a small business owner, and I think that being involved in the chamber, I've really seen Inglewood promote this. So how do we keep these people here, right? And I guess that's my mission and why I'm here, is how do we keep Inglewood? I try to find a house for friends who are looking for something affordable, and typically I can look at Inglewood, and lately that has changed. And so I love the sense of community, but I really feel passionate about keeping it that way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for applying.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Stinson. Joe Anderson, City Council District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood? You've already talked a little bit about this, but regarding the border commission you've applied for, which is the Housing Authority.
Sure, I will stay specific to that. Go on to the school. I mean, everything really. I would like to constantly see improvement, but I do think that we're facing a housing crisis, and affordability is a big issue. And so I'd like to, I guess, provide the resources that I have to answer the question of how do we make it happen? Because I think, how do you keep housing affordable with building costs and city codes? And those are a lot of really intricate questions. And I think I have the resources for people who've made it happen in Denver and in Boulder. And people are doing it, so I think we can do it too.
Very good. Yeah, and I think your experience with land trust is something the Housing Authority would certainly be interested in hearing about as well. So I appreciate that background.
Yeah, and actually my next door neighbor, who's the CFO of the land trust I'm working with, is an Inglewood resident also.
Wow.
So we
Very
have a
cool.
lot, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
She's not here today.
Good evening. Good
Hello.
evening, Ms. Stinson. I'm Rita Russell. I'm council member at large. It's great to have you this evening. And my question is pretty simple. Because regular attendance and engagement in the board commission is required, will you be able to attend all the meetings?
Yes, as long as it's scheduled. I mean, I think that's my biggest thing.
Yes, yeah, so the housing, right. The Housing Authority generally meets the first Wednesday of the month at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep,
so
I can do that. That's great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Woodward.
Good evening, Sherry. My name is Jim Woodward. I'm a council member at large. And my question for you is, how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Well, I think housing impacts us all, right? But I do think it impacts our community and our schools. And I think for me personally, I have 2 kids. We are Inglewood residents. I think the quality of the community starts with our housing. And so for me personally, it impacts my block, my neighborhood, everything that the kids my kids play with. But professionally, I am also working on a master's certificate in real estate development. So I am hoping to partner with a land trust and buy a parcel of land and develop an affordable housing complex. That is one of my personal professional goals. And so I'd love to do that in Inglewood possibly.
Great. Thank you.
Ms. Stinson, I think we still have some time remaining. Do you happen to have any questions for us?
I mean, I guess I'm just wondering what you guys are looking for in a partner from a board member for the committee in this regard, as far as how we can support you in your goals to provide affordable housing. Does that make sense?
Does anyone want to jump in?
Well, I'll jump in since I'm the liaison for the Housing Authority.
Okay.
I think that the Housing Authority is unique among our boards and commissions because, you know, the Housing Authority has its own budget, is its own organization, which is not true of most of our boards and commissions are advisory. And so the commission really does depend on board members' knowledge and expertise and skills in their particular area of housing. I think in terms of city council, you know, we want to work closely with the Housing Authority in any way we can. So having a partnership kind of mentality on that, you know, of course, the city owns land and has opportunities to, you know, to look for land within the city. The Housing Authority is in the same positions there. So I think there's some potential for partnerships between the city and the Housing Authority in terms of future, you know, affordable developments as well. So I think
Yeah, that's great.
mindset.
1 minute warning.
We have 60 seconds, Ms. Stinson. Do you have any other questions for us?
I don't. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm really grateful to be. There's so many good questions, and I was trying to come up with. I'm really appreciative to be here, and I really I appreciate what Inglewood's doing lately to really improve the city and what you guys are working on, and even the development codes. I know you're getting a lot of pushback, so I appreciate what you're
Ms.
working on.
Stinson, I appreciate you making time for us tonight, and I appreciate you wanting to volunteer for your city. So we will be discussing appointments tonight. We will be making final appointments a week from Tuesday, and we'll make sure that somebody from the city clerk's office reaches out to you once those appointments are complete. So
Okay.
again, thank you very much for your time tonight. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you. You too. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening. Bye.
All right. Jenna, I may ask you to pronounce your last name.
Yeah, it's Biondolillo.
Biondolillo.
Yep.
Close enough. Jenna, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. My name is Nathaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. We'll be asking you 7 questions tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. I just saw something just freeze on my screen. If we have any time remaining, you can ask any questions of this council, and we'll have the city clerk jump in at the 9-minute mark to let us know we have a minute remaining. So do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
So Ms. Biondolillo, my first question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board Commission at this time?
Yeah, so my husband and I just moved to Inglewood about a little over 6 months ago and bought our first home. So I'm just looking to get more involved in my community and with the city.
That's great. Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, District 4 Council Member, Mayor Pro Tem. My question for you is, tell us about any knowledge, skills, and abilities you have to bring to this board or commission, and in particular, how they will benefit Inglewood through your service.
Yeah, so I'm a professional landscape architect, and I've been practicing for about 10 years now. So I feel that my experience with landscape architecture and kind of understanding parks and recreation and parks and open space design and landscape design and maintenance, I think is a benefit to the Parks and Rec Commission.
Thank you.
Ms. Biondolillo, I'm Cheryl Wink, council member at large. My question for you is around an experience in the past where you've worked in a group of people or among a group of people that have diverse experiences and opposing views and or perspectives. So if you could talk a little bit to that for us, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, so one thing that I've done in the past several different years was volunteer for the ACE mentorship program in the Denver area, which is where professionals in the architecture, construction, and engineering industries will mentor high school students and kind of expose them to that industry and kind of work through a design and construction project with them, kind of a hypothetical one. So I think from the leadership end, working with people in different professions, and then also, you know, from the mentorship, working with students, younger people with all sorts of backgrounds, and kind of exposing them to that type of profession.
Great. Thank you so much for your answer tonight.
Good evening. I'm Chelsea Camp, the City Council member for District 2. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for applying. Can you share with us, in the 6 months that you guys have been here, what have you loved most about living in Inglewood?
Yeah, so I like that Inglewood's kind of like an urban small town. I grew up down in Centennial, a little bit more suburban. I've lived in Denver for 6 years, and I feel like Inglewood's the perfect middle ground. Like, we're able to have a house with a backyard and kind of on a neighborhood street, but then be a 5-minute bike ride to downtown Inglewood, where there's local businesses to shop at, eat at, can go to a concert, you know, anything.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Ms. Biondolillo. My name is Joe Anderson. I represent District 3. And my question for you is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your service on a board or commission, or through your service specifically on Parks and Rec Commission?
Yeah, so I'm still kind of getting to know all the specific parks in Inglewood, but I do feel that just kind of my understanding of, you know, the design and elements that go into parks and open space would kind of give me a good perspective on that. And then I think it would be helpful for me to kind of understand the front end of that, and the stuff that goes into decision making on how parks can be improved, or finances can be invested into new park spaces or maintaining our existing parks. But yeah, I think I would have kind of a good perspective just being on the design end of that, and then bringing that to the commission.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Good evening, Ms. Biondello. It's great to have you here this evening. I'm Rita Russell, City Council member at large. And my question is pretty simple. Regular attendance and engagement with the board and commission is required. Can you foresee anything that might prohibit you to attend the meetings?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good evening, Jenna. My name is Jim Woodward. You and I met at the Parks and Rec meeting last Thursday at Pirates Cove. So my question for you tonight is, how will your service on this board benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Yeah, I think, I guess personally, just being new to Inglewood, I think it'll be great to get involved and get to learn more about the city and what's going on from the Parks and Rec standpoint. And then professionally, I think I kind of already mentioned this, but I think it'll be great to get a better understanding of, you know, the front end of what goes into Parks and Recreation, whereas I know kind of like, okay, we have the funding, we know what we want, now I can maybe design it, do the construction documents, but understanding like how to get to that point, I think will be really interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Biondolillo, I think we still have some time. Do you happen to have any questions for us?
I don't think so. I guess one question, and I thought I saw this somewhere and now I can't find it, but is this an appointment, a 2-year appointment, or what was the?
Does anybody have that off the top of their?
Sustainability is 2 years.
But this is Parks and Rec, so I think it's
Oh,
4 years.
sorry.
It looks like there's a term expiring in 2025 and one in 2026 that are open right now.
Right. Is there a preference on your end, Ms. Biondelillo, or are you looking for a shorter time frame, longer time frame?
I guess I haven't thought about it too much. I guess 2 years seems good.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like it's just filling in a seat for the shorter term. So, okay, but Ms. Biondelillo, we will be making appointments later on tonight. We'll have discussions about appointments later on tonight. We'll make a final decision a week from Tuesday. We'll have somebody from the city's clerk office reach out to you once those appointments have been finalized, and then those seats will start in February. So I appreciate you making time for us tonight, wanting to volunteer for your city, and I hope you have a great evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, I see you are ready for us. Can you hear
Hello,
us?
everyone.
Good evening.
Yes.
Mr. Knight, my name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We're going to be asking you 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll have our city clerk, Sarah Harkness, let us know that we're down to a single minute. Do you happen to have any questions for us before we get started?
No. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Knight, my question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Well, when I moved to Colorado in 2015, I told my best friend, okay, I found my home state. And now I'm going to go looking for my hometown. And in January, I was able to find and move into my first home here in Inglewood. And then 2 months later, I've moved my father in. And so we are both incredibly happy with where we live and how our neighborhood has been. And so I want to know how I can help.
Perfect. We appreciate that, Mr. Knight. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, District 4 Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the Board or Commission? In particular, how would you provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service on the boards or commissions that you marked as preferred?
So I've been in marketing for the past 10 years. I've also dabbled in front-end development and IT. I've been working with small businesses, startups, mostly over my decade career in this field. I've worn a lot of hats. And so if it comes down to having to go across the street and talk to somebody, all right. If it has to be fix this website, build a new website, make this ad campaign run, build a survey, all the different ways of communicating with people digitally, I have done it and I've made all the mistakes doing it. And so I can surpass those gremlins that we've been having this evening. And the other thing too, specifically to the urban development, one of the things about it is that where you spend your time ends up being the story you tell yourself. And so, if you are continuously going through and you're driving through your hometown and it has this certain feel, that starts to creep into how you feel. It starts to creep into the story you tell yourself about where you're from, what are you doing? And so, I've spent a lot of time with branding exercises with the companies that I consult for. And I would love to take that urban renewal energy that seems to be pent up with no place to go and find ways to use it. So I realize there's only one meeting a year, so I would not want to waste that one meeting.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. And then I'm Cheryl Wink, a City Council member at large. Thank you for applying and spending a few minutes with us this evening. My question is about an experience in the past during which you've worked alongside a group of individuals with diverse and opposing views or perspectives. So would you kindly share a little of any such experience with us, please?
Sure. Well, I could go the easy route and say that I served 4 years in the Marine Corps, but I'll go ahead and try to find something else that's a little bit more recent. In my current work, I'm also a content marketer for a relatively large company that's in Inglewood. And I have to work with a team from India. I have to work with a team from the Philippines. I have to work with team members that are all over the United States. And not only is scheduling and the technical part of that difficult, but everyone stays in their own lanes, and then all of a sudden everyone shows up with all these ideas and stuff. So the thing that I've always told people that I've mentored in this space is, when you join a new organization, when you join anything, don't say anything for a week. Don't raise your hand with an answer, just listen. And once you've listened to everybody and you kind of know, like, what are the challenges that everyone is facing, where are the large personalities that need to be addressed, and who are the people who are maybe too quiet that need your help to speak up. And so that's kind of always been what's driven my success, is building my network of people around me by listening to them first.
I'm a software architect, and you can imagine. Yeah. And your background. Thank you for that answer.
You're welcome.
Mr. Knight, it's nice to meet you, and thank you for your service to our country. I'm Chelsea Newton-Camp, the City Council member from District 2. We're thrilled to hear that you're a new resident of Inglewood. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you've loved about living in Inglewood so far?
It is relatively new. I have lived in the area for a very long time, but my father adopted me. If he ever listens to this recording, my father adopted me, and he didn't have to do that. And I certainly didn't have to move him across the country to Florida to live with me here. But to have him gush about how wonderful the neighbors are, and the restaurants, and how quiet the street is, and just everything that we cared about where we were from in small town Illinois growing up, it just warms my heart. And all my neighbors have just been so wonderful. So yeah, I would just say the people so far.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Joe Anderson, Mr. Knight, and I'm City Council member representing District 3. My question for you is, what would you like to see changed in Inglewood through your service on the Board of Commissions that you've applied for?
I never want to walk into a place thinking I know how to fix something. I would say, even if I don't get on the board, I want to help you fix your Zoom calls. But I don't have anything that sticks out to me and says, Jay, you need to fix this. I would just kind of walk in with an open mind and say, like, okay, well, we have this commission. It meets once a year. Who are the people that we haven't been talking to? And that's what I would want to do, is talk to the people that maybe we haven't gotten to yet, or just, whatever it is that is causing things to be slow, I would want to at least take a look at.
And if I could follow up real quick, that's a good answer.
Sure.
Would you be willing to serve on another board, or do you have particular interest in that, or you want to limit it to a one meeting a year kind of a board, or would you be interested in other potential boards and commissions?
I would be very interested in other boards that are more active. And I know what the next question is going to be, and yes, I can make those appointments. So hopefully I can get another awesome question coming up. But yeah, I would love to. I'm here to be active in the community. I have a very kind of flexible work schedule, and my clients and all work with me on that. So
thank you.
Go ahead, Member Russell.
Good evening, Mr. Knight. I'm Rita Russell, council member at large. It's great to have you here. You really have already answered my question, but I do appreciate your willingness to apply and work on the board. So how long have you actually lived in Inglewood?
5 months.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Inglewood. We love to have you, and I'm glad you already love it here. I've lived here a long time, and I love it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Member Woodward. You're on mute, Jim.
Good evening. My question for you tonight is, how will your service on the Board or Commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Well, personally, I think I will be around more people such as yourselves who are taking an active role in caring about their town. And so I usually gravitate towards problem solvers, and I gravitate towards people who are energized by, oh no, I hope I don't lose power here. Oh, sorry. And I think professionally, I
1 minute,
look at the world as it is, and I think like there's so much more I could do, maybe at the city level, at the county level, at the state level. I want to learn more about government and everything that we do here. So,
Great.
sorry, I got distracted, Mr.
Well,
Woodward.
say, Mr. Knight, the gremlins have made it to your house now, so.
Yes.
So, Mr. Knight, I believe we may be at time. I want to thank you for making time for us tonight. We're going to be discussing appointments here later on this evening. A week from Tuesday, we'll make final decisions, and we'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out to you to let you know those appointments. Welcome to you and your father or into our great city. We're happy to have you. Go ahead, Mr. Knight.
I'm sorry, Mayor. I just you don't have to spend time asking this. I just want you to think about it. What I would hope to hear later on is, what story do you want Inglewood to tell?
Oh, anybody want to jump in real quick? I know that we're next to our next person, but anyone?
Small homegrown
perfectly fine.
community with love and progressive thought, and but cognizant of our community and keeping it our community.
Mr.
Hey,
Knight, thank you very much for your time tonight. Have a good evening.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Ms. Oren,
Hello.
can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Perfect.
great.
Ms. Oren, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. My name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. We're going to be asking you 7 questions here tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. We'll have the city clerk jump in at the 9-minute mark to let us know that we're down to 1 minute. And if you're ready, we'll go ahead and ask the first question.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Perfect. And my question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Yeah, so I recently moved to Inglewood as well. I'm from Denver, and I was looking for ways to get involved with the city. And I have an environmental education and environmental policy background. So I thought that the Sustainability Commission seemed like a great opportunity to get involved and use some of my knowledge and also learn and get to meet people and feel invested in the community.
Perfect. We're happy to have you. Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Councilman. Can you tell us about what knowledge, skills, and abilities you'd bring to this board or commission, and in particular, how they would provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service? Sure.
Yeah. So I'm really passionate about the environment and sustainability. Before moving to Colorado, I worked as an AmeriCorps environmental educator, working with kids and planting gardens and teaching urban agriculture. And then I moved out here to go to law school at CU Boulder, studied environmental law, and I worked for the Colorado Senate and the National Conference of State Legislatures, working on environmental policy analysis. And I currently work for Denver City Council, actually, as a legislative aide. So lots of experience working on policy, working with constituents and stakeholders, and local government is something I'm super passionate about. So yeah, I'm excited to have the opportunity to get involved.
Thank you. And I think you just gave us a preview of the answer to one of the upcoming questions as well.
Yes, if not more than one. Thank you, Ms. Oren. And my question, I'm Cheryl Wink, council member at large, is to ask you to describe an experience in the past or present in which you've worked with a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and or perspectives.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I work on every day, I would say. Something that I'm working on currently that really feels pertinent is conversation surrounding a new bikeway that's going in on the 7th Avenue Parkway, where we have advocates from the cyclist community who are really excited about this new infrastructure that's going in, whereas some homeowners are not super excited about the look of the bike lane infrastructure. So there's been some tension surrounding how that's being implemented. So just trying to, support dialogue between the two sides in a way that feels productive rather than folks yelling at each other, in a way that people feel heard and that concerns are being addressed, so that hopefully the end product is something that everyone can be happy with, where homeowners like it, and also we're making sure that cyclists have a safe place to bike. So yeah, it's definitely it's been an interesting situation to navigate, but it's a good opportunity to kind of hear folks from varying perspectives and kind of work with people to get something done.
Right. It's almost baseline these days.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Oren.
Zoran, it's nice to meet you. I'm Chelsea Noonan-Camp, the City Council member for District 2. Can you tell us what you love most about living in Inglewood?
Yeah, I love the sense of community that I already feel. The day I moved in, I had neighbors coming up to my house and introducing themselves, inviting me over, and it's just not something I felt living in an apartment in central Denver. Just you never knew who your neighbors were. You kind of felt like everyone was kind of transient, like someone would move in, someone would move out. You just didn't really know what was going on, and I just already feel like I'm know my neighbors and feel embedded in the community. And I would also say I just love the local businesses as well. I can walk to downtown, which is pretty cool, and get to support local businesses, which is really important to me. So yeah, I just love feeling like in the short time that I've been here, I already feel like embedded in the community.
That's fantastic. Good to hear.
Good evening, Ms. Oren. I'm Joe Anderson, City Council District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your service on the Sustainability Commission?
Yeah, so I would love to just see robust programming around things like recycling. I saw that there is like a hazardous waste disposal program. So seeing more participation, whether that's from community members or getting businesses on board, and just kind of like increasing awareness so that folks know that these programs exist and that they can get involved, and having buy-in throughout the city.
Very good, thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Oren. I'm Rita Russell, City Council member at large. It's nice to have you here this evening. And my question is about regular attendance and engagement in the board and commission is required. Do you foresee anything that would create a problem in attending the meetings?
No, I am flexible and I am able to attend the meetings.
Great. And so can I just ask you a question? How
Sure.
long have you actually lived here in Inglewood?
So I purchased my first home in March, so just a couple of months.
Okay, great. Welcome to Inglewood.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Oren. My name is Jim Woodward. I'm a council member at large. And my question for you is, how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
I think that it'll allow me to get more involved in the city, get to meet folks and kind of see what's going on, and just be able to feel more invested in my community, and feel like I'm making a positive impact. I love the opportunity to get involved in anything. So I think it'll just be a really great opportunity to feel like I'm making a difference in the city.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Oren, I think we do have a few minutes. Do you happen to have any questions for us?
Sure, yeah. I was wondering if you all could share a little bit more about some of the projects that the commission is working on, or any past projects that have been particularly significant.
Oh, Joe, do you want to jump in on that one?
Oh man, I'm the liaison for the Sustainability Commission. Let's see, the commission has recently completed a project for a master plan for electric vehicle and EV action plan. So that's one that's been on the radar. There's been a lot of interest in the past in community pollinator gardens and natural, kind of just natural resources like that. And we have one example of a pollinator garden by the Inglewood Depot there. I don't know, all this stuff comes to council too, so I'm probably leaving other significant stuff out that maybe other council members can remember. But those are the two that come to mind right now.
Our water sustainability plan as well, I think, went to that committee.
That's true. Yeah. Any other questions, Ms. Horn?
Yeah, if you could tell me a little more about what some of the responsibilities would look like serving on the commission.
I'll jump in on that again. We have a meeting once a month. It's on Tuesday evenings, I believe, at 6:30. And so you have to be at that meeting once a month. We have several opportunities for the commissioners to volunteer, though it's not required for the commission at some of the events, like the hazardous waste disposal event. We do a leaf, a leaf collecting event once a year. And then there are opportunities for, we often do, the commission will do educational events as well, that we like to have the commissioners involved in if they're able. But really the only requirement is that you come to those monthly meetings.
Okay, sounds great.
Ms. Oren, thank you very much for your time tonight. We'll be discussing appointments later on this evening. A week from Tuesday, we will be making final appointments, and then we'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out to you when those are complete. Ms. Oren, thank you very much for your time today, and have a great evening.
Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome to the city. Good evening, Erica. Is it Crystal?
Creasel.
Creasel. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Thank you for making time for us tonight. My name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. Tonight we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll hear from the deputy city clerk that we are down to 1 minute. And if you are ready to go, I'm ready with my first question.
I'm ready. Thank you all so much for having me.
Perfect. My question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board or commission at this time?
Well, first of all, I love the city of Inglewood, and I'm really interested in becoming more integrated in the city. I've been living here for about 5.5 years, and I would love to be able to stay here for a really long time if possible. I also have had a lot of friends who have been part of different aspects of either city council or boards and commissions, and have had a really good experience for the most part. And I have been able to also interact with a number of the events that have happened, mostly the Cultural Arts Commission. And I really think that those are really important events. Excuse me. And I think it would be a really good time in my life to jump into something new.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for applying. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, District 4 Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem. My question for you is, tell us about your knowledge, skills, and abilities that you would bring to the board or commission that you've applied for, and in particular, how they would provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service.
Yeah, well, as a working artist in the city, also a music lover and former theater kid, I primarily right now work in graphic design and photography, and the majority of the work that I do is actually for nonprofits in the city. And I really want to see the city grow and it's like express itself through art, artists, makers, and music, and all of the things that the Cultural Arts Commission has, and more. And I think that I can bring a perspective and some different ideas of how the city can engage with art and makers and artists. I think I also put on there the Sustainability Commission. I do not have any specific credentials surrounding sustainability, but I really do think that it's super important. And I've done a lot of personal research. I've also had many failed attempts at composting, and I would love to see some more things like that around the city. And I care a lot about how art and sustainability interact as well. I think that it's really important as we're doing things surrounding art that we are paying attention for our future of how that impacts not only society in a cultural way, but also how it impacts the natural world around us. So I think that those two things are really important and they need to be merged together too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Erica. It's great to see you tonight. Cheryl Link. And my question for you is about an experience in the past where you've worked with a group of people with opposing and diverse views and or perspectives. So if you'd talk to us a little bit about any such experience, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, I think as a human that comes a little bit naturally, sometimes not so naturally, especially on Facebook and things like that. But in a more normalized setting, I think in a previous job, just working in a team environment, you always have people with different perspectives and opinions, and that can be really frustrating. And not always do you agree with what the end result was, but I think that it's super important to be able to move forward together. And I really value like difference of opinion. I think that can be really important. And I think that that's a great way that teams ideate and actually become more healthy. And I do think it will be stretching for me. It's a new format to be in this kind of setting, but I think that it's really important to do things that are scary and to do the hard thing. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also scared.
Good. I think that's good. You and Caleb have contributed a lot to Englewood so far, so I'm really grateful you've stepped up to do this and wish you luck. Yeah, thank you.
So much.
Hi, Erica. It's good to see you. Thank you for applying to be on the board and commission. This is a hard question. Can you please tell us what you love most about living in Englewood?
So hard. Well, I love that I really never have to leave. That's probably my favorite thing. I can typically walk to work or anywhere to go get groceries or to go to restaurants, concerts. There's so many things just within, such a, I guess, close area. I also really love just the small town feeling, being able to run into people, while you're on a walk or at the grocery store or at a restaurant. It's super fun. And it kind of reminds me of growing up in the small town that I grew up in a good way. I've lived in an apartment the entire time that I've lived here. Excuse me. So it's been a little bit difficult to meet people who are in my building, but it has been really amazing to meet people in my neighborhood because of the new neighborhood. I forget what it's called, but being able to be integrated in that, my neighborhood is really active and it's super fun. And it's cool to see all of the diversity of age and ethnicities as well. And it's unique. It's not something I've experienced elsewhere.
Awesome. I think I've seen you painting a neighborhood mural. So you're already doing some community. Thanks so much for applying.
Good evening, Ms. Creasel. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Englewood through your service on the boards and commissions you've applied for, cultural arts and sustainability?
Yeah, well, I would love to see more interactive and collaborative art exhibits and gatherings for artists. And I know a lot of that is in the works and some of it's already happening. So that's really exciting. And there's so many different disciplines of art as well. And I think that is unique and something to not be looked over. So artists, musicians, makers, all sorts of different art, not even just that list, there's so much more. But I think that there's a really amazing ways that we can kind of integrate all of those different arts into a community and really become a true community.
Very good, thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Creasel. It's nice to have you here this evening. I'm Rita Russell, council member at large. And my question for you is, regular attendance and engagement is required with the boards and commissions. And so do you foresee any problems with attending meetings regularly?
No, I do not.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jim Woodward, council member at large. My question for you tonight is, how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Englewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Yeah, well, I would really love to grow in my understanding of how to serve the city well and to meet new people from my community. As I mentioned, I live in an apartment, so it is a little bit difficult since you can't just like always go knock on your neighbor's doors. And especially during COVID, that was really difficult to meet people. So I think that it would be a really amazing experience. Also professionally, I see it as a growth opportunity for me and also as an opportunity to expand my network and be exposed to different artists and other people that I'm not familiar with. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Creaswell, I believe we still have some time for some questions. Do you have any questions for us?
I do have one. I have tried to watch some of the videos that are online for the Cultural Arts Commission and sustainability. I couldn't find very many for sustainability, so I was mostly watching cultural arts. But in general, what type of art do you feel like is missing from the disciplines that we have? And like, what would you like to see moving forward?
I can jump in here as the liaison to the CAC. I liked that you mentioned the need for us to represent multiple different mediums of art. And I will say, I think in one of the areas that you specialize in, photography, we don't have that strongly represented right now. And so that would be an interesting addition to the commission. But the commission does work on lots of different kinds of art. Right now, they're considering a median art project, so public art in the community, events for artists, interactive art for Inglewood events, music at Inglewood events. They kind of touch it all. And so wanting the most kind of like wide array of mediums possible is definitely a focus of the commission.
1 minute warning.
Okay, thank you.
Any other
I'd
questions?
like to say, I love
go
that you
ahead.
mentioned makers. I think makers is awesome. I would love to see more maker stuff. I like to tinker myself, but I never considered that to be an art discipline. And I think there's an opportunity there, so I'd love to see
Yeah.
it.
Cool. I think that's all I have. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Ms. Priestel, thank you very much. I think you may have heard my little spiel earlier, but we'll be discussing appointments later on tonight. Final appointments will be made a week from Tuesday, and we'll have somebody from the city's clerk office reach out to you once those appointments are made. And I appreciate you for making time for us tonight, and I hope you have a great evening.
Great, you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, Ms. Keys, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Perfect. Good evening, Ms. Keys. Thank you very much for making time for us tonight. My name is Othaniel Sear. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. Ms. Keys, we're going to be taking you through 7 questions tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those 7 questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll have our deputy city clerk jump in and let us know that we're down to 1 minute. So if you're ready to go, I can ask my first question.
Great, ready to go.
Perfect. Ms. Keys, my question to you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board or commission at this time?
So my professional life, I work for a planning department. So I'm really familiar with how important boards and commissions are in shaping a city and how it moves forward. And living and being a citizen of the city of Inglewood, that's why I'd want to be a part of that and helping build the future of Inglewood.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Ms. Keys. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, District 4 Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem. I think this is probably going to be a softball question because I've read your application, but tell us about the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you bring to the board and commission, and in particular, what positive benefit they would provide to Inglewood in your service.
So yes, again, being familiar with how boards and commissions work, and specifically the one that I had applied for was the Planning Commission. So I think having a familiarity with how municipal codes and zoning codes work is beneficial in participating on a board like that. And I would like to think what I could bring is a perspective as a renter, a resident of Inglewood, and also just bringing a background of goals and sustainability and equity and inclusion, and helping use my background in planning and boards to, I guess, bring that, contribute.
Thank you. That makes sense to bring all of that together. I think that makes very, very good sense. Thank you for sharing that. I am Cheryl Wink, council member at large. Ms. Keys, thank you for being here tonight. And my question asks you to describe an experience during which you've worked with a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and or perspectives.
Certainly. So in my planning capacity, I've brought cases to boards and commissions where there are a lot of conflicting opinions within the community. And ultimately, I think that it's important to listen to all the voices, and also keep in consideration the guidance that the code provides in order to make the decision that's going to meet the goals of the code, but also be equitable and for the greatest good. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mhm.
Ms. Keys, it's nice to meet you. I'm Chelsea Newnham, the City Council member for District 2. Can you tell us what you love most about living in Inglewood?
Yeah. So I love Inglewood. I lived here before, then I moved away, and I feel very grateful to be back. I think that it's a great place. It's full of so much different things. It's super walkable. I love that I can walk around Inglewood and constantly find new hidden pathways. I love the food diversity. I love the culture. That it's notably one of the more accessible, I think, places in Denver. It's very that's very present. That it's a very inclusive community. There's a lot of great art. The whole sort of downtown Inglewood, how it's been transforming, is really great to see. And yeah, there's just so much to do here. It's a great place to live.
I agree. Thank you so much for applying.
Good evening, Ms. Keys. My name is Joe Anderson, City Council member representing District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your service on the board that you applied for, Planning and Zoning?
So one of the things that I've noticed about Inglewood from the time that I lived here before to now is there's a huge difference in affordability. And I hear people talk about that. So I guess one of the things that is important to me that I feel would be an opportunity being on this board would to maybe help drive initiatives associated with that, with affordable housing, and also inclusiveness of culture. I think that Inglewood is really great at that, but that's something that we can always strive to be better at.
Very good, thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Keys. It's nice to have you here. My name is Rita Russell, and I'm a council member at large. My question for you, since regular attendance and engagement is required on the boards and commissions, do you foresee any problems with regular attendance?
I do not.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jim Woodward, and I am council member at large. My question for you tonight is, how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
So I think that the opportunity to be on a board or commission in the city that I live in is really fantastic, in that it's an opportunity to help our community build Inglewood even into an even better place to live. We all love it, but we want to see it grow. Professionally, I think it's a great opportunity to get that board and commission perspective. I have the perspective of being the planner presenting to the board and working directly with the community for cases, and I think that it would really help me round out my, I guess, overall
experience.
experience on that, in that realm.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Keith, I believe we may still have a minute or so left. Do you have any questions for us?
I guess, are there any major big initiatives in Inglewood that are happening right now that you all are very excited about?
Does anybody want to answer?
We had someone else ask us this question earlier today, and I would use it as an opportunity to share that we have a webpage called Inglewood Engaged, where we actually have all of the big projects that the city is working on and where we can solicit feedback from citizens. So would definitely point you there. And if you're not already familiar, one of the big projects on that page is we are currently undergoing an update of our development code. And so that obviously has a lot of overlap with this commission. I'm sure you'd be very familiar with it and interested to see where those drafts are at.
Yeah, we just did that in the city of Golden, so that is really interesting, and it's worked out very well there, so that's pretty exciting.
It's great.
Yeah, I just want to mention too, we've got major infrastructure improvements that have started recently and will be continuing on for probably the next few years with our water, with our streets and stormwater. So number of things going on there.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
Ms. Keys, I believe that we may be at time now. We'll be having discussions about the appointments later on tonight. We'll be making a final decision on those appointments a week from Tuesday. And we'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out to you about those appointments. But I want to thank you for your time tonight. Thank you very much for wanting to volunteer here in the city, and I hope you have a great evening.
Excellent. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, I think we are now at break. We'll take a 10-minute break, so we'll come back at 7:51. 7:51, Jim. All right, everyone, see you in 10 minutes. All right, I think we should be starting up here in a second. I don't see Cheryl's name. Hey, Cheryl, you're showing up as Steve again. There we go. Mr. Waldman, are you able to hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can't see me though?
No, not yet. I was gonna say, we've had a couple people have issues turning on their cameras tonight, so you wouldn't be the first. But I think we can go ahead and get started. Are we still recording? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's Jim?
Yes.
I think we're missing one. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Waldman. We're missing a council member, so I'm gonna give him a second to jump back on.
Okay.
I thought I just saw him on here, didn't we? Wasn't he just on here? Actually, he's got the last question, Mr. Waldman, so.
He was. Okay, I'm going to just try to re-enter.
No, you're good. I see you now. I can
Oh,
see
you do?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay. Well, no, if you see me, I'm not good, but okay.
You're good, Mr. Waldman. Trust me. I think we're good to start. So, Mr. Waldman, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. Apologies for being 10 minutes behind schedule, but my name is Nathaniel Sierra. I'm mayor for the city as well as council member for District 1. Mr. Waldman, we're going to be asking you 7 questions tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. I see that you're connecting on audio, so I'll give it a second here. There we go. Well, anyway, at the 9-minute mark, we'll have the city clerk jump in and let us know that we're down to a minute. So, Mr. Waldman, do you want to test your mic real quick? Just make sure it's working. Oh, no, we lost you. Hold on. No, not yet. It still says it's connecting to audio. I see you moving your lips.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Okay.
Right.
How are you guys?
We're good. Did you hear anything I said?
Not a thing.
Okay, all right. I'll repeat it again, Mr. Waldman. My name is Nathaniel Sierra. I'm mayor for the city as well as council member for District 1. Tonight, Mr. Waldman, we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll have the city clerk jump in and let us know we're down to 1 minute. So with that, are you ready for my question?
Go right ahead.
Mr. Waldman, my question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Well, I'm now retired over the last couple of months, but I've been chairman of the Board of Adjustment and Appeals. I've been a short-term city councilman. I was put 4 terms on Parks and Rec and took a break. And now, you know, I've been living here since 1985, and I try to give back to my local community. So again, I play at the Malley Center. I know a lot of seniors that play sports and are involved in recreation. So I think I would be a good fit. I'm a former business person, own my own business, own my own business property, recently got out of both of those. And I think I'm a good person to oversee the Malley Center Trust Fund Board.
Yeah, you sound like a great fit for many places, Mr. Waldman. Thank you very much for applying. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Councilman. Can you tell us about the knowledge, skills, or abilities you'll bring to the Board or Commission, and in particular, how you'll provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service?
Again, before I did those things on the city boards and commissions, I was a JC chapter president. I was actually on the original Dogs Off Leash and the Dogs Parks commissions and task finding boards. I mean, this is my community now. My daughter was raised here, and I'm a former business person. I own my own business, which I recently walked away from and sold my business property. So I have skills, knowledge, I think I would be a good fit.
Mr.
Thank you.
Waldman. I'm Cheryl Wink, council member at large. Thank you for or congratulations on your career and your retirement. My question tonight asks you to describe an experience in which you've worked with a group of people that have diverse and sometimes opposing views and or perspectives.
Wow, I don't know where that necessarily applies to things that I've done, but I've always owned my own business. I have done custom manufacturing. I have never turned away a customer. I have never turned away a project. I have run things like putting up all the tents for the Taste of Colorado, where I did work with mostly minorities in labor and getting through a crazy weekend of installations and teardowns of tents. So again, I grew up in a very interesting era in the late 60s. I have worked for a long time. I really don't know why that question applies, but if you have a specific question, I would certainly be glad to answer it.
That was the specific question. Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Mr. Waldman, good evening. I'm Chelsea Camp, City Council Member for District 2. Can you share with us in all your years here in the city, what do you like most about living in Inglewood?
I have played in the Englewood Men's Golf Club for probably 25 years. I worked out at the Englewood Rec Center until I switched to the Malley Center for my workouts and pickleball. But I had 4 terms on Parks and Recreation Commission, which was always very rewarding. I worked with a great group of people like David Lee and Gerald Black. And I think they did a great job, and I want that kind of quality to continue in my city.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Waldman. Joe Anderson, City Council District 3. My question for you tonight is, how would you like to see Inglewood improve specifically through your work on the Board of Commission, Malley Center Trust Fund?
Again, improving by being on the Malley Trust Fund Board. I want maintenance and slight improvements. I want the seniors that I play pickleball with, the ones I see shooting pool, the ones I see playing mahjong, to continue having a place to go that isn't necessarily the rec center or some other facility. So I want Malley Center to continue, and maybe to somehow increase programs and increase their offer to the seniors of the city. Because, you know, again, you're the city council people. It annoyed me when the Parks and Rec Commission decided to eliminate a resident golf fee for those of us who have lived here forever. I thought that was a poor choice, but I'm not on Parks and Rec anymore. But you know, I am something of an activist. I am somebody who's really aware, but not necessarily at the local level. So I'm really hoping that the Malley Center continues to thrive. And I want to help to make sure that the money is there, that the management is there, and it continues to do so.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Waldman.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Waldman. I'm Rita Russell, City Council Member at Large. It is so great to have you apply for a board and a commission again. My question, I already know the answer to my question. My question is, because regular attendance is required, are there going to be any problems? At your stage of life, you've just retired recently, you haven't filled up your schedule yet, so I think you will have no problem.
4 days a year, I think I can manage. Yeah, and I'm usually there on Mondays anyway, playing pickleball. So there wouldn't be an issue on making those meetings.
Perfect. You will be a great addition to that committee if you get appointed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rita. Good to see you again.
Good to see you
Hi,
too.
Mitch.
Hello, how you doing, Jim?
I'm doing well, thank you. My question for you is, how will your service on this board and commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
There is no more professionally, thank goodness. Although I'll give you a quick story of what I've done since retirement. I got certified to be a substitute teacher and spent the last 2 months of the school year as a teacher's aide at Sherry Lynn, where our kids went.
All right.
So yeah, it was very rewarding. That was a lot of fun, but there is no more professionally rewarding. Personally, I just like to make sure that things are done right. And so I think I can lend a professional, rational voice to whatever we hear in the future.
Yep. Just to explain a little bit about the trust fund. The trust fund is exactly that, a fund that it has been donations. So we don't get involved too much with policy. We are there to serve the Malley Center and its operations basically with dollars if we can do that. So that's what we do, not so much with the programming.
Thank you for that, Jim. Mr. Wellman, you're a jack of all trades. I think we still have some extra time. Do you have any questions for us?
Nope, and if there's other boards and commissions that aren't full, that might be of interest, just send me a text or an email and let me know if there's a position that I might qualify for that you would possibly want me to fill. I thought planning and zoning a couple of years back, I was thinking about the, I think you were trying to expand the alcohol into alcohol and marijuana commission. And I thought about applying for that, and something changed before it actually came up for a vote. But, those kind of things. I'm certainly have time and interest in seeing what happens in this community. So think about if there's something that you might want to offer.
I appreciate that, Mr. Waldman. Thank you very much.
And go Nuggets, by the way, they're losing.
They are losing. Down by 4. So, but Mr. Waldman, no, thank you very much for your time tonight. We'll be deliberating appointments tonight. We'll make a final decision on Tuesday night, and we'll have somebody from the city's clerk's office reach out to you when those appointments have been made. And Mr. Waldman, enjoy the rest of the Nuggets game. Thank you very much for applying, and hope to speak to you soon.
Nice talking to you all. Have a very nice evening.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Mr. Chris Ray, I believe you're next since you turned on your, yep. Mr. Ray, good evening.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Mr. Ray, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. My name is Othaniel. I'm mayor as well as council member for District 1. Mr. Ray, we're going to be asking you 7 questions tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those 7 questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll have the city clerk jump in and let us know we're down to a single minute. And with that, are you ready to begin?
Yep, let's do it.
Mr. Ray, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Yeah, so my wife and I recently purchased our first home in Inglewood, and I've always been interested in local politics and just helping my local community. I was raised doing that, and really wanted to kind of take the next step outside of volunteering and see what I could do to just get into local politics and make an impact. So this is really my first attempt at getting into that.
No, that's great. Thank you very much for that. Mayor Pro Tem?
Hi, Mr. Ray. I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Councilman. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to a board or commission? And in particular, how would they provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my professional career, I focus a lot on operational and business strategy, as well as leadership and management of teams. So that means that I have to run businesses from top to bottom, manage budgets, manage not only budgets, but people as well, and make sure their operations are functioning correctly. That also means that I have to interface with a lot of different teams and technologies. So it helps me really just operationalize my capabilities. So I think really my biggest skills here is just there's capabilities, operational capabilities I can bring to the table, but also cross-functional management and leadership capabilities as well.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, Mr. Ray. I'm Cheryl Wink, council member at large. My question for you is, asks you to describe an experience in the past during which you've worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of my week to week in terms of my professional life. But in a recent episode, we had to deal with a huge budgetary concern around where money was going to go in terms of new hires or internal promotions and raises. And there was a lot of debates, not only from different teams, but different backgrounds, different seniorities. Everyone was able to professionally put their points forward and talk through it, even though I think there was a lot of tension. So this was about 2 weeks ago.
Thank you very much. Oh, keep going.
Okay. I would say no one technically won. We tried not to look at it like that, but I would say everyone's opinion was heard, and we tried to weigh our pros and cons as much as possible in that conversation.
That's a very good answer. Thank you so much. It's lovely to hear all the answers to this question, right? Having that experience does support your ability to work through city topics. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Mr. Ray. I'm Chelsea Camp, the City Council member for District 2. Can you please tell us what you enjoy most about living in Inglewood?
Yeah, everyone's been so friendly, and I love all the parks since I've moved here. I live really close to about 3 different parks. The city of Kunming is kind of like a special place for my wife and I to go on walks with our dog, but we also live really close to a lot of like bars and restaurants that we've been getting to know, such as the ramen shop around the corner, and I don't know, the Blazing Bird is a chain, but we kind of like that spot. So I just love the community. Everyone's so nice here, and it's close to the city. I really like it's close to the city, but you don't feel like you're in the city. And then my third favorite thing is just my dog loves everyone here. Everyone loves my dog, and it couldn't be like a friendlier place. And compared to where we've lived throughout Denver, I would say this is, even though this isn't Denver, but this has been the nicest area we've lived in Colorado since we've probably moved here.
Wonderful to hear. Thank you so much for applying.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Mr. Ray. My name is Joe Anderson. I represent District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your service on the boards and commissions you've applied for?
You know, I don't think I have a ton of things that I would say I want to improve just yet. What I'd like to do is just figure out what the things are that the people want improved or need improved, and figure out how I can help solve that. I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't have a single thing top of mind right now.
Perfectly valid answer. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Ray. It's nice to have you. I'm Rita Russell, Inglewood City Council member at large. And my question for you is pretty simple. Regular attendance and engagement is required on the boards and commissions. Do you foresee any reason why you could not attend regularly?
No, not at all.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for applying.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Mr. Ray. My name is Jim Woodward. I'm a council member at large. My question for you tonight is, how will your service on the Board or Commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me right now, it's probably more personal, since my wife and I plan to have a family pretty soon, raise kids here. I'd love for this to be a great place for them to grow up. And if I can impact and help mold that positively, that's what I'd like to do. But also just other people's, I'd love for other people to be happy and feel safe to Inglewood. So I think that's kind of what I'm shooting for personally. Professionally, if this could be a great next step in my career, maybe local politics could be awesome. But I think right now it's just exploring, new ways to help the community selfishly.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Ray, I think we still have a minute or so for any questions. Do you have any questions for us?
I have many questions. I'm not sure which one to throw at you all as a group. I guess my question for you, the top question I had top of mind is, of all the kind of candidates that are coming, are just selfishly, are you seeing a lot of younger candidates or older candidates, or where are they sitting? And am I a representative sample, would you say, of candidates that are applying for these board positions?
I think at least for tonight, we get a diverse crowd usually through these boards and commission interviews. It's never just one or the other. I think the one thing that I've noticed tonight, at least, is that we have a lot of residents that just moved in and are already serving or wanting to serve their community, which
Awesome.
It has happened in the past, but I think tonight it's been 3, 4, or 5 so far. So that's pretty impressive, and it's something that I like to see. But yeah, overall, it's just, I'm always impressed by the level of candidates that we have here in the city and they're willing to serve. So
That's great to hear. That's awesome. Well, thank you all so much for your time.
Mr. Ray, thank you very much for your time. We'll deliberate tonight. We'll have final appointments by next Tuesday, and you'll hear from our city clerk's office sometime next week.
Sounds good.
Mr. Ray,
Thanks.
thank you very much
Go
for your
Nuggets.
time. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Dickerson, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, Ms. Dickerson, I think we're ready to start. Ms. Dickerson, we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll have our city clerk just let us know that we're down to 1 minute. And Ms. Dickerson, you know, I'm Nathaniel Sierra, mayor, as well as council member for District 1. Are you ready to begin?
Sure.
Ms. Dickerson, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board Commission at this time?
Well, I'm not sure motivation is the correct word, but taking an interest in one's government is to me an obligation, a responsibility, and a duty that I am tired of shirking because I've been off a board and a commission for a whole year now.
Thank you, Ms. Dickerson. Mayor Pro Tem.
Ms. Dickerson, it's Steve Ward. Can you tell us about the knowledge, skills, and abilities you'll bring to this board or commission and how you'll provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service?
Well, for the quasi-judicial boards of Board of Adjustments and Appeals and Planning and Zoning, my legal skills and experience in many jurisdictions are unique and foundational to determining development and variances relative to codes and property rights. The citizens are the city. The job of government, even volunteer committees, is to protect the rights of citizens. That will always provide a positive benefit to Inglewood citizens if service on preferred boards is always constitutionally grounded. Do you need further clarification?
Member Winkle.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Dickerson, Colleen, please describe an experience in the past during which you've worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and perspectives.
Well, I don't know of a single incident where I worked in a group of people that did not have diverse and opposing views and perspectives. In 40 years of working, I would be appalled if there was no opposing or diverse perspectives in any of the groups I've been involved with. I spent my formative years, a few of them in Japan, so I specifically have an understanding of being a racial minority because there just weren't very many people like me around. I've dealt with more than 100 jurisdictions in 4 states in siting, leasing, zoning, and permitting wireless sites. Many have been openly hostile and dismissive, especially Inglewood, but I succeeded in siting wireless facilities to the benefit of citizens without acrimony, mostly through staff, but infrequently through city councils.
Member Noonekamp.
Sorry, I was just making sure Member Wink was done. Ms. Dickerson, good evening. Good to see you. Can you please tell us what you like most about living in Inglewood?
Well, I sought out Inglewood when I came to Colorado for work 25 years ago. I liked the general bedroom, small town feel. When I stopped working 70 hours a week shortly after I retired, I started to feel like the song, "You've Lost That Loving Feeling." I am encouraged by the grassroots involvement of citizens claiming their rights. Currently, that is what I like best, is the citizens claiming their rights and voicing their dissatisfaction. But that's from a political standpoint. But actually, it's my neighbor children that keep me encouraged and grounded. I've watched 3 generations of children grow up here in my neighborhood, and I'm a substitute grandma to 5 new ones under the age of 9, and that's probably the most important for the neighborhood. And my feeling about the city is my relationship with my neighbors, the children. I like the children the best.
That's lovely. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Ms. Dickerson. My question for you tonight is what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your service on the boards or commissions?
Well, I've attended a bunch of meetings, planning and zoning and Board of Adjustment and Appeals. And they've given me some knowledge of needs for improvement within the boards, which affects citizens negatively. I don't like to make snap judgments. I need a lot of facts and I do a lot of research. But in general, just offhand, I think 4-year terms would be better than 6 for those 2 boards. More time should be taken in interviewing candidates for those boards and getting truly qualified members. And I'd like to see less guidance and direction from staff and more balanced third-party presentations. And very specifically, paying a great deal more attention to citizen opposition to certain developments and the reasons for their opposition. Just a note, parking and traffic are huge issues for residents, and allowing and or lowering existing standards is of great concern to most of us.
Thank you for your answer, Ms. Dickerson.
Good evening, Ms. Dickerson. It's nice to have you here this evening. You know me, Rita Russell, council member at large. And my question, I already know the answer to this as well. Regular attendance and engagement with the board or commissions is required. And do you foresee anything that would prohibit regular attendance on your part?
I can't predict the future, but according to Dr. Phil, past behavior says the best indicator of future behavior. In the 5 years on the Code Enforcement Advisory Committee, I missed no meetings except the last 2 when I was term limited. I can't predict the future, but when I make a commitment, I endeavor to fulfill it wholeheartedly and with determination.
Thank you very much. That is true. And I saw it myself because I was liaison to code enforcement. Thank you so much. Thank you for your service also.
Thank you.
I'm Jim Woodward, council member at large. My question for you tonight is how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Okay. I'm retired, so I foresee no professional benefit, nor would I seek any. Personally, I see only obligation and responsibility to my fellow citizens to be as honest and as factual and to benefit all citizens with my best efforts to ensure their continued liberty and quality of life and protect us all from government excess and control.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Dickerson, I think we still have a few minutes. Do you have any questions for us?
Not really. I've been around for a while and I've asked all my questions, I think. I would like to serve some more. I wish I was eligible for more service on the Code Enforcement Advisory Committee, but I've only been off for a year, so I don't know what the limitations are. I know you have to be off for 6 years if you've been serving on the Board of Adjustments and Appeals or the Planning Commission, but I assume because the terms are only 2 years for code enforcement and sustainability, I'd have to be off for 2 years before I could reapply. Does anybody know?
I think I might know. What you are correct. It would be 2 years. I believe that
Okay.
was set up in 2011 by a vote of the people. 3 terms maximum.
Well, I was short 1 year of 3 terms because they put me in on a short term to fulfill somebody else's term, but it was a whole 1 year. So I lost a whole year of eligibility. Do you have any further questions of me?
No, I don't think so, Ms. Dickerson. I don't see any from other members of council, but I do appreciate you making time for us tonight. We'll be deliberating here tonight. We'll have a final decision on Tuesday of next week. And I hope that you have a great evening. And actually, the city clerk will be reaching out as well once appointments are made. So thank you, Ms. Dickerson.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Mhm.
Up next, I believe is, let me just make sure, was it Kevin Wright? Yes, Kevin Wright. Or Kim, or
Unmute.
perfect. Mr. Wright, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Coming in loud and clear. Mr. Wright, good evening. Thank you for making time for us tonight. I'm Nathaniel Sierra, Mayor and City Council Member for District 1. Mr. Wright, we're going to be asking you 7 questions here tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, the city clerk will let us know that we're down to 1 minute. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Mr. Wright, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Well, I'm motivated to be on the board to help share my experiences. I feel it is my duty as a citizen to join the boards to help in the decisions being made that will benefit the city of Inglewood. My motivation is the well-being of the city.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Wright.
Mhm.
Hi, Mr. Wright, Steve Ward. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to this board or commission, the ones that you applied for? And in particular, how would you provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service?
Hey, Steve, good seeing you. I have a lot of skills, both personally and professionally. To start, I would like to say that I'm a great listener. I'm a motivated learner. I like to learn every day new information that benefits my life, my business, and my family. In my honest opinion, my knowledge of the trades and as business owner can benefit any board that I may be approved to sit on. I'm a hard worker and I look for positive results.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wright, I'm Cheryl Wink. Please describe an experience in the past during which you've worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and perspectives.
Hello, Cheryl. The best one that I can think of is, as a business owner, I must compete in the plumbing field. I was bidding on $1 million project, and the project that I was bidding on had several competitors, and I was going to put in a pipeliner in a high-rise building. Instead of pulling the pipe out of the walls, I was going to put a liner in without doing any demolition, and they kept saying that it was wrong, that it wouldn't work, and that Denver wouldn't approve it. So with all my research and everything that I did, I was able to come back to Denver, prove to them that, you know, I was not going to reduce the pipe size and do any reduction in the pipe. And I was able to work with a diverse group of people there. We came to the conclusion that to keep the tenants in their homes was better, using the material that I had proved my point, that I would be not reducing the DFUs, the drain function units of the pipe, and that I could move forward with the project. So I was able to get that $1 million project, move forward with the project. It just happened to be a senior citizen home that everyone would have had to move out of that building for us to do the project. We came in, no one had to move out of the property. Everyone stayed in their property, in their homes, and we were able to successfully put pipeliners throughout the whole building. So I've dealt with a lot of diverse people in big projects, small projects, and I feel confident that I can do that on a board and on a commission.
Well, that's certainly an excellent example and great conflict resolution. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Can you please share with us what you like about living in Inglewood?
I love Inglewood. I love the people here. I love my neighborhood. I love my cul-de-sac. My neighbors, they're awesome. You know, I said the other day to Kim, I love the taxes here, and she laughed at me. But when you really look at what taxes we pay here, they're lower than a lot of the other cities. And I really do love that fact, because it helps me in my pocket, in my savings and everything else. So there's a lot of beautiful things about Inglewood that I really love, the small town feeling of being here in the city. It reminds me of a small town feeling, and I love that. I love being close to family and friends, that I'm right around the corner, and I feel safe here. I really do. I feel safe, and I'm happy. I love my community. I love this city, and this is where I look forward to retire.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Member Anderson?
Good evening, Kevin. Good to see you this evening. And my question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved through your service on the boards or commissions that you've applied for?
Hey, Joe, good seeing you. What I'd like to see first is I would really like to see the return to pre-COVID times when everyone was meeting in person. You know, in-person meetings to me is just so much more important. You know, when I was manager and I was managing crews, you know, to be able to look at, you know, my employee and tell them, listen, man, you need to go take care of this, and you need to go take care of this. See their facial responses and everything else is very important, and how I delegated the job the next day to see if whether or not that guy reacted or that woman reacted to what job they received. And I could tell if they liked the job or if they didn't like the job just by their body language and different things that you can tell when you're in person. So I would really like to see the in-person meetings come back into play. I think it's important. It's important for a team to function, more communication among, you know, the team members. You know, listening to Brenda, the communication seemed like that was important, and that would be something that I'd really like to see coming into there. Proper delegation amongst members to see, you know, people that have, you know, more knowledge, be able to share with others, be stronger, you know, in positions in those spots to help the team to succeed. And that's the whole thing I would like to really see, is for the Planning and Zoning Commission to be successful, and for us to be able to bring out very successful projects to the community, to be successful in what we're doing.
Thanks for the answer, Kevin. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Good evening, Kevin. Rita Russell, council member at large. Of course, you already know that. And my question is probably the simplest of all. Regular attendance and engagement is required with boards and commissions. Do you foresee any problems of attending regular attendance at your meetings?
Hello, Rita. Good to see you. No, I believe that once you commit to something, that it's your job and your responsibility to make sure that you're there to attend everything. And I do understand that, you know, there are personal reasons, emergencies come up and things do happen that we can't foresee. And sometimes weather might be just that reason that we can't be there. But I believe it's important to always catch up and to never allow ourselves to get behind in communication or in our progress forward. And when you allow gaps by not attending it as a team, I believe that you're doing harm to the team. And I believe that I would give 100% to my team to be successful, to bring us down and get us across the goal line and make that touchdown.
Thank you so much. And thank you for applying also. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Rita.
Good evening, Kevin. Jim Woodward, council member at large. My question for you tonight is, how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally, or both?
Good evening, Jim. Thank you. You know, I want to be remembered for the good things I did for the city of Inglewood. I want to be remembered for the help that I was here, what I've done to help, you know, make the city better, to better the city and a better accomplishment. So that's my goal here.
One
The
minute.
memories. Uh-oh.
We're at 1 minute.
You still have 1 minute,
Oh,
Mr. Wright.
I only got 1 minute left. Okay. The memories that I will make here will last me forever. And I sure appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Mr. Wright, you probably still have like about 50 seconds. Any questions for us?
No, guys. Thank you so much.
Mr. Wright, thank you very much. We'll deliberate tonight. We'll have final appointments next Tuesday. And we'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out at that time as well.
Perfect. Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Wright.
Good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good job.
Hello, Ms. Wright.
Hello, how are you?
Mr. Wright to Ms. Wright. Good evening, Ms. Wright. This is Nathaniel here, Mayor, as well as City Council Member for District 1. Same process, Ms. Wright, 7 questions, 10 minutes. At the 9-minute mark, you'll hear the city clerk state that we're down to 1 minute. So are you ready for your questions?
I am.
Ms. Wright, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
I would say after watching or attending the board and commission meetings, I see that a lot of members are not engaged. And I feel that these boards and commissions are so important for all citizens of Inglewood that people should be engaged. There are voices, and I think that's important. They are speaking for us on our behalf. So I want to be part of that process. You know that I'm vocal, and I feel that I should be speaking for the people of Inglewood on a board or a commission for that reason.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Ms. Wright. Mayor Pro Tem?
Mrs. Wright, it's Steve Ward. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the boards or commissions that you applied for? And in particular, how would you provide a positive benefit to the city through your service?
Hi, Steve. I'm not a literal or black and white person. I like looking outside the box for solutions. I like looking at different ideas, many ideas. My work history forced that. And I think that type of background that I have, my big job was managing 32 call centers. And then after the Katrina flood, I was in charge of bringing up emergency call centers for FEMA and American Red Cross. So with that type of history, you have to think outside of the box and be very diverse in type of thinking. So I think that type of history, you have to think differently. And I think that type would help a lot in any board or commission I would be on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Wright, good evening. I'm
Hi,
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Hi, good to see you.
You too.
Mr. Wright. My question asks you to describe an experience in the past during which you've worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and perspectives.
Yes. Okay. And this is old, but I think it's important.
Yep.
I was managing 32 US based call centers when 9/11 happened. And we had a lot of call centers on the East Coast, including one in Pentagon City. If anyone knows where Pentagon City is, it was across the street from the Pentagon. I was on the phone calling that call center saying shut down when Pentagon was hit. I had a VP telling me to close all call centers. We were in the midst of doing that. And my CEO got on the phone screaming, "Why are you closing all call centers?" No one was calling a call center about their phone bill at this time, but we handled government accounts also. So what do? I closed all East Coast call centers. And then we had call centers in Colorado Springs. We had one in Clovis, New Mexico, which was near a military base. I closed that one. And I opened West Coast, Sacramento and stuff like that. So I had to work with very type A personality bosses and make them happy. I also, at the same time, within a 72-hour period, was heavily involved in bringing up call centers for the telethon for 9/11 also. So very diverse group, a lot of personalities, and it was very rewarding too. So, and I'll never forget it.
Excellent. Another great example. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for you and Mr. Wright for applying this evening.
Thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Good evening, Ms. Wright, Chelsea Camp.
Hi.
Is an easy question. What do you like most?
Great haircut. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. What do you love most about living in Inglewood?
Kevin kind of said some of it, but we live around the corner from our son and grandkids, so they could come over anytime. You know, this month alone, we have had 2 block parties. We're filled with cul-de-sacs here, and I thought it was just our neighborhood. I've gotten to know more and more people becoming involved with city council and stuff like that. We've gotten to know more people in Inglewood. No, we're not special. That's Inglewood. Everybody does it. They have their block parties, and I love that because I think it's an Inglewood thing. I lived in Lakewood. I'm like you, multi-generational, native of Colorado, and I think it's more Inglewood. I've lived in Ken Carl. I've lived in Littleton, Lakewood, and we didn't have that. Of course, the dogs. So I love that small town feeling. There's just too much to say about Inglewood that it would take up all my time.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Wright. My question for you tonight is what would you like to see improved in Inglewood through your service on the board you've applied for?
Thanks, Joe. This is a great question, and I've thought about it. I don't know if it could be changed, and I think it needs to be changed. There needs to be more communication between the public and the boards. I've attended some of these boards. You get 3 minutes to talk. They start talking amongst themselves, and I'm like, wait. You know, I think there should be a period of time where the public and the boards should be able to communicate and talk. It shouldn't take all the time, but there should be a period of time. I've had great ideas when code enforcement, I'm like, you're wanting to change a law for 4% of the problem. I'm like, wait a minute, why can't we come up with an idea for that 4% of the problem? And other boards and commissions. So I think that's the big thing. On so many issues, we talk at each other, not with each other. You know, when there's town halls, we could talk with each other, but those town halls don't happen enough. And on boards and commissions, when does a town hall happen? So I think that's one thing that needs to change is there needs to be open communications at all levels. And is this by design? Is it how it's written? I don't know, but I think that's the big thing that needs to change.
Very good. Appreciate that feedback. Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Kim. It's great to have you here. And my question is pretty simple too. Regular attendance and engagement on the boards and commissions is required. Do you foresee anything that would keep you from regular attendance?
I would not have applied if I would not be attending.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're
I know
welcome.
that's true.
Yes.
Jim Woodward, member at large. My question for you this evening is how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Hi, Jim. I'm not looking to benefit myself personally or professionally. I hope to benefit all citizens of Inglewood, and that's what we all should be doing.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for applying.
Thank you.
Ms. Wright, I think we still have a minute or so. Do you happen to have any questions for us?
I do. I applied for several positions, and it's just showing up as code enforcement.
Okay.
I applied for P&Z, which would be my last choice, and the Housing Authority. I have worked on stuff. I've let city Stephanie's office know that I've had troubles. Kudos to Jackie. She had to help me get the application in because I couldn't get it through. And then also there are positions where I couldn't even check off. They did not show available to me. The Housing Authority, P&Z, and code enforcement only showed available to me, and I'm seeing people are interviewing for all kinds of things. And that's a bit concerning to me that it wasn't open to everybody. Jan Whitepert said she would have gone for the election board, and I probably would have too, but it wasn't even open for application. And it doesn't look like anyone even
1 minute
interviewed for it. So I have a bit of concern that it's not open for everybody, and I was only able to apply. One thing went through when I checked off several.
Thank
So
you for that. Thank you for that, Ms. Wright. So you are open to being on Housing Authority, Planning and Zoning, obviously CEAC as well.
that yes, that's my number one choice. And I've learned that everybody, you know, most openings they're being reappointment. So, but even the election board, but just, you know, and people didn't apply because it wasn't even showing open. So I just want to make you aware, and you may end up hearing from people. So
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Yeah, we should definitely, members of the public should definitely reach out to the city clerk's office whenever they're having issues trying to apply for a board, but I appreciate the feedback and we'll definitely look into that as well, so.
Okay, fantastic.
Can I have a follow-up, Mayor?
Sure, go ahead, Member Anderson.
So it sounds like you're you know, if we are going through these and trying to slot people into different places, it sounds like you maybe have some flexibility if there's a spot that, you know, the reappointments fill up code enforcement advisory, but there's an opening elsewhere. Is there any, you know, are you open to other options as well?
I am you know, I'm here to help and serve. Yes, definitely.
Very good. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Wright. All right, Ms. Wright, I think you may have overheard me, but we'll deliberate tonight, make final appointments next Tuesday, and someone from the city clerk's office will reach out to you next week.
Okay, fantastic.
Ms.
All right,
Wright,
thank you.
have a great evening, Ms. Wright. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I see Emma Wood. Good evening, Ms. Wood.
Hi.
Good evening. Thanks for making time for us tonight, Ms. Wood. My name is Othaniel Sierra. I'm the mayor as well as council member for District 1. Ms. Wood, we're going to be taking you through 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. At the 9-minute mark, the city clerk will let us know we're down to 1 minute. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Wood, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
My husband and I have been Inglewood residents for almost 1.5 years now. And early on last year, we became involved with the Inglewood Community Garden. And through that, I just got this really infectious invitation and energy from people who are part of the garden. And ever since, I've been really interested in ways to get involved. And when I saw these positions open up and become available, I just thought, I want to jump right in and serve where I can best be utilized. I am now a new parent. My daughter's a 1 month old. So through that, I'm more inclined to be involved in the community and have a say to better it for, this generation, but also my daughter's generation.
All right, you have your hands full. Congratulations on that, Ms. Wood.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Hi, I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Council Representative. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the boards or commissions that you applied for? And in particular, how will you provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'm really excited about this. I have a lot of positive energy that I would bring to the boards. So I think that would be number one, but also my 9 to 5 is working as a brand manager for a marketing and PR firm. There I manage about 8 clients, and each of those clients has about a team of 10. So I am well-versed in social media, advertising, community. My main job is really getting the public aware of what my clients are doing. It's all about drawing media attention, drawing eyeballs. So for Inglewood, I want to bring more people down North Broadway to South Broadway and let them know all about what we have going on here. I want them to try out the new exercise center at Cushing Park. I want them to see what we have going on that may be overlooked because we're not in Denver County. So I think through those 9 to 5 skills, I can bring a lot to the table to Englewood.
Thank you. Very good. Ms. Wood, I'm Cheryl Wink, council member at large. Nice to have you here this evening. Thank you for applying.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise. Would you kindly describe an experience in the past or something that's currently occurring in your role, wherein you are working or have worked with a group of people? I'm sorry, both my dogs just came down here, so it might get noisy. With diverse and sometimes opposing views and perspectives?
Yes, I actually have a very close to home example. So on May 18th, our company was hired by a snack brand to create publicity in the Walmart parking lot, the Walmart near the city center. So the whole idea was to bring people to the parking lot so that they can walk into Walmart and buy the snacks. So as the brand manager for that event, 1 week before my maternity leave, pressure was on. But I was working with the Walmart team. I was working with their buyers, but also their health and safety team, which had a lot of COVID restrictions still in place that we weren't taking into consideration. I was working with the client who is the snack client. I was working with a YouTuber from Colorado Springs that we hired to come up and video the entire event. I was also working with the Guinness World Record Academy to put this, the stunt really was that we were creating the world's largest ice cream cone in the parking lot that day. So lots of moving parts and lots of ideas and opinions. Everyone was trying to have the event work to their benefit, not necessarily the collective that I was thinking about. So all in, the solution there was really just making everyone feel heard and reminding them about the united goal that we had at the event and trying to find compromises along the way and a couple free snacks to get them on board. And it was super successful. We had lots of people from Englewood come out and we did set the world record, which was fun.
Even better. Terrific answer. Thank you so much for that. And for your enthusiasm and willingness to volunteer.
Ms. Wood, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for applying. I'm Chelsea Newton-Camp, the City Council member for District 2. Can you please share with us what you like most about living in Englewood?
I think what we were really excited about off the bat was the inclusivity of Englewood. We went to Brewability's launch party for the new vibrational dance floor, and my eyes were really opened up to the community that Englewood has fostered, and those especially who have disabilities, and how everybody's rallied around it. I mean, that party was popping. And then at that party, I learned about all of the wonderful legislation that is available to those that have been passed to make it a little bit easier for those living with disabilities. And I can see that every day. And just as I'm walking downtown or at the park, how accessible the city is. So first and foremost that. I also had a conversation with a code enforcement officer from the police department. She was just kind of in the neighborhood doing patrol. I just introduced myself and said hi, and she was awesome. She had this pink hair and like this really fun energy. And I'm like, how long have you been working for the police department? How long have you been around? She said 29 years, and that they keep asking her to retire, but she refuses because she loves Englewood so much. She also said that her husband's been trying to drag her out to Evergreen to live on acreage and have farm animals, and she refuses because she loves Englewood. And I think that spirit is really universal across a lot of people that I meet. They just love Englewood. And I've only been here for 18 months, not even, but I'm already starting to feel that same itch.
That's wonderful. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for applying.
Good evening, Ms. Wood. I'm Joe Anderson, Englewood City Council representative for District 3. My question for you tonight is, what would you like to see improved in Englewood through your service on the board that you've applied for?
I think for me right now, I'm really focused on safety and community. I remember, growing up and feeling like the library was such a safe haven for me. As a kid, I got my babysitter certification when I was like 12. I joined all the teen book club challenges. when I was going through my awkward teen years, I always retreated to the library. Likewise, a lot of the parks where I had growing up had activities and events where you really just felt like part of the group, and I could ignore some of the stuff happening at school or on social media, etc. And I know that there's been a couple of safety issues in the parks and at the library, and I'm not sure what the specifics are and would love to be more tuned in if I were chosen to serve. But that, as a new mom, as a citizen who's living near some of those areas, that's top of mind for me.
Very good. Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Wood. I'm Rita Russell, council member at large. Thank you for applying. And my question is pretty simple. Regular attendance at board and commission meetings is required. And do you foresee any problems to regular attendance at the board and commission meeting?
No, I will make a promise to be there and be timely and involved.
That'll be great. I mean, things do happen, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Emma. My name is Jim Woodward. I'm a council member at large. My question for you is, how will your service on the Board or Commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
I hope serving makes me a more informed neighbor. I have a really eclectic neighborhood, which I love, all different ages of the residents here, different backgrounds. And I feel like a lot of them aren't necessarily involved in all of the great things that Inglewood is doing. They get the newsletters, but don't read them. They kind of hear a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but don't really tune in. So I hope to really be an advocate for Inglewood in that way. And just, keep them up to speed on what we're doing in some of the areas. So I think personally, it would help me to create new relationships in the Inglewood area and again, serve as an advocate.
Okay, well, thank you for that answer.
Ms. Wood, it sounds like we have just a little bit under a minute. Do you have any questions for us?
No questions. However, I did apply for a couple of boards. I'm not married to either of them. I really, would love to hear from you guys where you think I would best be utilized, or which board needs someone like me on it. I'm really just excited and enthusiastic to get involved, and I'm open to any opportunity there.
Sounds great. I do appreciate you applying. I'm not sure if anyone has any feedback on that, but I'm sure we'll take that into consideration.
Okay, well, nice to meet you all. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Wood. We'll make deliberations tonight and have a final answer next Tuesday, and we'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out. So thank you very much for your time tonight.
Okay, bye.
Have a good evening. All right, and here, Mr. Oganowski, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, Mr. Sierra, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Thank you very much for making time for us tonight.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Oganowski, I'm Nathaniel Sierra. I'm the mayor as well as council member for District 1. We're going to be taking you through 7 questions tonight. You have 10 minutes to answer those 7 questions. At the 9-minute mark, we'll have the city clerk let us know we're down to a minute. Are you ready to begin?
Let's begin.
My question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood Board or Commission at this time?
Well, I've always loved the city of Inglewood. I've been living here for 30 years of my life, and I just thoroughly enjoy boards and commissions, and I enjoy helping people understand city municipal government. I mean, it's very important. I mean, it's not as if you can just take it for granted. I mean, it's not as if it's low-level government. It's still government. I mean, you guys are still elected officials. I mean, you guys still have a job to do. I mean, we all have a job to do in Inglewood to be ambassadors for our city. I mean, whether it be working with the police force or fire department or EMS or what have you. I mean, but I mean, you just got to do it. I mean, you got to do it because you enjoy it. I mean, that's what you love to do. I mean, that's what I love to do, is I love just to be helpful and resourceful.
Yeah, thank you very much for that answer, Mr. Oganowski. Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm Steve Ward, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Councilman. My question for you is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the Board or Commission And how will you provide a positive benefit to Inglewood through your service on the board?
Can you repeat that question, Steve?
Sure. Tell us about your knowledge, skills, and abilities that you would bring to the boards or commissions that you applied for, and in particular, how you would apply them to positively benefit the community through your service.
Okay. Some of my skills are I'm very analytical, I'm very organized, I'm very detail articulate, I'm very professional, I'm very motivated, I'm very, very genuine and sincere about how I serve a board and commission, because like I said, I take that as one step further towards one day becoming a council member myself. And it just helps me just build my resume, and it helps me build my strengths up and what I use every day in my work job.
Thank you. Mr. Ogonowski, good evening. Cheryl Wink, council member at large. Good to see you again. Thank you for applying again. Please describe an experience in the past or in the present during which you work or have worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views and perspectives.
Okay, that would be my days at Colorado Access when I was on one of their councils. I was on the diversity and equity inclusion team. And I was working around a diverse number of people, and we were having difference of opinion sometimes on certain contract matters, but I took it all to heart, and I learned from that, and I learned how to be very, very detail sympathetic rather than detail unethical.
The learning is an important part of these experiences, isn't it? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Were you going to say anything else? Did I cut you off?
You did, but I'm going to say you learn how to be very, very, like I said, you just learn how to be so loving about what you do, and you take it with great pride, and you take it with sometimes a grain of salt. Just depends on what you're doing. I mean, you could be planning the biggest event for the city of Inglewood. You could be having like the Inglewood Bazaar and everything else, and you know how it is.
A little bit, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for that answer. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Good evening, Mr. Ogonowski. This is Chelsea Newton Camp, the City Council member for District 2. Can you please tell us what you like about living in Inglewood?
What do I love about living in Inglewood? Well, that's a very, very good question, Chelsea. I mean, I've never been asked that. I mean, why I live here? Well, I live here for 3 reasons. Number one, our municipal government has to really take charge, But we have a wonderful police department too. I mean, I'm friends with a couple of the officers in Inglewood. And, I love living here because it's also a city that gives you a chance to serve on a board and commission for working alongside city council and helping them in their work and being a voice for citizens' rights. I mean, that's what we've got to look forward to. I mean, hell, if we didn't do that, why are we even here? Ask yourself the question.
Thank you so much for that answer.
You bet.
Good evening, Mr. Ogonowski. My question for you tonight is what ways do you want to see Inglewood improve through your service on a board or commission?
I want to see Inglewood improve through just boards and commissions that I serve on, by the fact that I can be very, very beneficially a strong suit to the board or commission that I serve, bring a lot of leadership to the board and commission that I serve in, because I serve on healthcare boards and commissions through the state of Colorado right now. And I just take great pride in doing that too. I mean, but I just take great pride in doing everything that I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Ogonowski. It's good to see you again. Rita Russell, council member at large. And my question is pretty simple. Regular attendance and engagement with boards and commissions is required. Can you see anything that would prohibit you from regularly attending the boards and commissions you've applied for?
No, I mean, I would serve anywhere where I'm necessarily needed. I mean, I don't have to go to the boards and commissions that I strictly applied for. I'll go anywhere you need me, really. I mean, I'm a flexible person. I mean, I don't have one skill set that carries me into every board. I mean, I have different skill sets for different things.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. Mark, my question for you tonight is, how will your service on this board or commission benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
It will benefit me in both ways. I mean, personally, I mean, I think it's just furthering my skill set and showing me what I can and can't do. But professionally, it also will help me carry myself into newer opportunities eventually and new leadership positions and just great service with great people. I mean, you all at city council are a joy. I mean, some of you I know from my past in Inglewood, and some of you are new to me. But like I said, I mean, it's all great and it's all wonderful and it's all for just grace and just gratification. But more than that, it's for just happiness and bringing unity back to the city that I love.
All right, thank you.
I think we may just be right around 10 minutes. Am I right about that, Ms. Ogonowski, or sorry, Sarah?
Sorry, we're.
Okay. Mr. Ogonowski, thank you very much for your time tonight. We're going to start deliberating here in a couple of minutes. We're going to make final appointments on Tuesday night, and we'll have somebody from the city clerk's office reach out at that time. So.
Okay, I just wanted to say that I'm willing to serve anywhere. I don't have to be put on the boards and commissions that I applied for.
Okay. Thank you
So
very
I just
much.
wanted to let you know that too. So
Yeah. No, we appreciate that, Mr. Ogonowski. If there are any open slots, then we'll definitely take that into consideration. So thank you for your time tonight.
For more than one, then you can always count on me for more than one.
Sounds great. Thank you, Mr. Ogonowski. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right, everyone. That concludes all the interviews for tonight. Do you guys want to just take a short break, or do we want to go straight into this?
Good to go.
So Carson Green wasn't going to interview tonight?
I spoke with Carson today and he just wants to be up for reappointment for code enforcement. He did not want to interview for P&Z.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Nuggets one.
I don't think Jim wanted to know that.
He did not.
I think it's probably good that Jim's muted right now. I'm not sure what he said there, but I don't think it was very nice.
No, I thought it would be best to mute it at that time. I'm still watching it tonight.
I'm sure you can hear the fireworks.
Yep.
I don't hear
yeah.
any fireworks.
Oh my goodness, I just heard it. Yeah.
So what happened to the mayor? Did
So
he
what
drop
happened to the mayor?
Oh, he probably
I was
left.
watching TV.
Maybe he's shooting
Oh,
fireworks.
sorry, I got disconnected. Oh, Sierra.
Maybe we should take a short break then until he's gonna.
Yeah, let's take 5, everybody. We'll try to get back here at 10 after. If that's all right with everybody.
Perfect.
Okay, are we gonna have to come back on again?
Yes,
Redo it?
we're gonna complete the evening with discussion of appointments.
I know that, but get on back on Zoom.
You shouldn't have to. You should be able just to pause it.
Yeah,
Just
you can
turn
just
off
turn your
your
video off and mute your audio.
What?
I'm back, guys. I was moved to a panelist for some reason, or sorry, as an attendee. So I think
Okay,
I'm back
demoted you, huh?
now. I got demoted.
We're taking a 5-minute break now.
We're gonna take 5.
Sounds good. All right, guys. See you guys at 10 after.
All right, thanks.
How many mortars did you have time for,
Back.
Mayor?
What's that?
I said, how many mortars did you have time for during the break?
Motors.
You hear all the fireworks?
Oh yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm also hearing people drive by honking too. So my dog just went into the corner room to get away from the fireworks sound. So it's not gonna really help though. All right, just waiting on Joe. Those are close. All right. All right. Another fantastic night of candidates. All right. I guess we should just begin. So I think let's just start off with the initial question of whether or not there's anybody is opposed to seating the reappointments. We'll start there.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All
I'm
right.
good with that.
Okay. So we'll move forward with just reappointments as is, and then we'll just start at the top. Budget of adjustment and appeals. Any suggestions there?
I'll start. I think one of the rights might be a good fit for this board. Either Kevin or Kim. Kim was the one who indicated that she was willing to serve on any board that we would put her on. So that's what I would open up with.
Okay.
I disagree on Board of Adjustments. I think Kevin would be better on P and Z. And I think it would add a little bit more diversity to that board. And maybe I think there may be some education there that would be good for Kevin.
I absolutely agree with Councilmember Woodward.
I had put penciled Kim Wright in here. I'd like to save Camille Keys for P and Z personally.
I actually had the same thought Anderson had in terms of P and Z.
That was the reason I went the direction I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Camille Keys and PNC also.
Yeah, really strong. Yeah.
Would it-
Kim Wright, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, would it be easier to come back to this one?
Yeah, I'm just writing down names at this point, but it sounds like I do have Kim as one of the options here. So let's just go down the row and then we'll come back to this one. Budget Advisory Committee. There's an alternate member. I'm okay with adding Shane Smith here as the alternate since we're keeping James Horan. Any other thoughts?
That's what I was thinking. That fits well.
Same.
Knight or Smith.
Who did you just say?
Shane Smith, just the two applicants that are on there. So James Horan is going to be the regular member, regular term, and then Shane Smith would be the alternate member.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that it wasn't a board that he applied for, but I thought Jay Knight might be a good fit for BAC.
Okay.
So I wanted to consider him as well.
Okay. So Shane Smith, or okay, we can come back to that as well, but perfect. All right, next one down the road is Code Enforcement Advisory Committee. A lot of oh no, actually we got the 3 reappointments on there, so we should be good there. Cultural Arts Commission.
So wait, now we're adding then Kim Wright? Oh, wait.
Right
there's
now
only
we haven't
three.
penciled.
There's only 3. Okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the 3 reappointments taking up the regular terms.
For CAC, we have 2 reappointments, and I really like Erica for this commission. She brings something that we don't currently have that I think would be helpful.
I agree. I thought of Erica first. Not that anyone else couldn't do a great job there.
I put her on the 2-year term And I agree with that.
Ah, that's a good point. I didn't look at the, okay, so the reappointment should go to the 20, expiring 26. We have
Yes.
one that's gonna be a regular term that's also in 26 and another regular term that is 25, so.
Thanks, Rita.
Okay. I'm actually fine putting Erica as the 3 until 26 as well, since that was her first choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any suggestions on the other 2 spots?
This is one place where I didn't really have anybody slotted in there yet.
One name I was, oh, go ahead, Rita.
I do have a question. How long has Erica lived in Inglewood?
I think she said 5.5 years. Let me
Yeah,
go
that's a
back.
great question, Rita. It's over 5 years that they've
Yeah.
been here. Yeah. She's one of the longer residents of everybody that interviewed tonight. Yeah.
And okay, she lives in the apartment down there on Inglewood Parkway.
Now, yeah, she and her husband.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should we come back to the other 2? Yeah, the other two appointments on.
Yeah, I'd leave them open for now.
Okay, sounds good. Election Commission.
So we have the lady that said that she wanted to apply. Was it Ms. Wright? But that it
No.
wasn't available. It wasn't like the
It
election.
was somebody else who had
Somebody, okay.
So since Ms. Wright brought it up, I kind of thought about putting her, but I know that we kind of have her
Yeah.
in pencil right now on BOA, but we could come back to this one if we need to.
Or the truth is, we could do both with her unless it's a quasi judicial board we're thinking about putting her on. Because the election commission, they might meet once or twice a year, maybe.
The only thing I was trying to accomplish by speaking up was just since we said that we asked, well, never mind. Keep going.
Let's move on to the next one.
Could I just say one thing on
Go
that?
ahead, Joe. Yeah.
Well, I had penciled Jay Knight in here as a possibility. I think he said he was open to other options. But anyway, yeah, let's move on.
The Jay Knight possibly for election. Okay. Downtown Development Authority, I'm fine keeping well, we already did decide on the 2 reappointments, so let's go to the next. Inglewood Housing Authority. So we have 1 reappointment, so that leaves a regular member as well as an alternate member.
I
We
had
2 reappointments, Mayor.
Oh,
because we're moving Madison from alternate to regular.
Madison, yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. Thanks for the correction there, Chelsea. So that leaves 1 alternate member.
I'd put Sherry Stinson in there.
I did also.
Yep, same.
Same. Okay. Keep it simple. All right, moving on to the next one is the Malley Center Trust Fund.
That's
I put Mitchell Waldman. Yeah, he fits the demographics also.
You know, he's much older looking on this screen than he is.
Jim.
You only have to be 55 to be on the Malley Center Trust Fund board.
He isn't as old as he looks. It's kind of like me. It's you know, I'm a lot younger. And I'm close to 60, but I'm closer to 70.
You look like you're in your 50s on the screen.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
Oh my God.
So we got
can't toss them up and expect us not to swing, Jim. It's not fair.
So we got Mitchell here for Malley. And he was also open to other positions if they're open. So Parks and Rec Commission.
Okay. I see Jan, what's her name?
Jenna.
Jenna.
Yep.
And
Emma.
Yes. Jan and Emma.
Jenna and Emma.
I think they'd both of them would bring a lot of really good energy to replace some of the people that we're losing.
Perfect. Sounds good. Any other thoughts there? All right, planning and zoning.
Mayor, real quick,
Yes.
there's two different terms for Parks and Rec. There's a 2026 and 2025. So where would you like to put?
Well, we'll put Jenna since that was our first choice. Well, I guess I should state that, but anybody have any suggestions there? Since they're both
I would
new
say
applicants?
Jenna as the first choice because she's doing this landscape stuff. And if our bond issue passes, that would be very helpful.
So add her in as the 26 and have Emma as the 25.
Yep.
Jim. Okay.
Thank you.
Jenna and her husband showed up at the meeting on Thursday just to watch, just to see what it was about. And there was a presentation on landscaping and stuff of the new possible park.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's go to P and Z.
Yeah.
I really do like Kevin Wright.
I do too. I would like to see that diversity there that just would.
My first choice here is Camille Keys.
The problem is, I feel like we are way overloading these boards with a lot of very much younger applicants. And I think that we need to add back some diversity in job descriptions.
Yeah, I think there's professionals. P&Z is loaded with professionals and they do a good job. And I think it would be good for Kevin to hear it's more, just more. I mean, planning and zoning is different, like Board of Appeals is totally different. Colleen Dickerson might be, if she was put on Board of Appeals, she's going to learn she's got a structure to work within, and that's it.
Right.
Structure is a structure, and that's where you got to make your decisions.
And the interesting thing about Colleen, I believe that she works much better in where there's structure because she does know and understand the law.
My thought
And Board of Adjustment is a lot different. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished, Rita. My fault.
No problem. Go ahead.
I was just sharing my view for P and Z, if we're still talking about that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Cheryl.
It was Keys as well.
Okay.
I have Camille as well. I was just really impressed by the professional background.
Same here. And I'm looking at the makeup of P and Z today. It does look like we have a decent mix on planning and zoning right now, in terms of ages as well as, well, professional backgrounds, I guess, in a sense. So,
yeah,
I think
so I am leaning for Camille on P and Z at the moment.
I think it's a fair point you raised, Member Russell, completely. But I do think we have that spread of diversity of different population segments, you know, in terms of the differences across the board.
Well, and she is, in all fairness, she is a city employee with the city of Golden. We have city employees here that present those positions also. So that's just.
That's a good point.
I'm on the fence now. You know, I thought Keys was a very impressive applicant. She definitely has the technical bona fides and qualifications. I guess the real question is, I think there's a compelling argument for Mr. Wright here as well. He definitely has an opinion on shaping development in the city of Inglewood that we've seen over time at various council sessions, but this would be an opportunity for him to constructively engage in the process. So I think.
Well, Steve, how would it look to you if Camille was on Board of Adjustments? And
I also heard a compelling argument for Ms. Dickerson on that. So,
well,
you
I
know,
wasn't making that argument.
I know you weren't,
I wasn't.
but I heard one. So yeah, I don't know. I think we may have 4. Do we have 4 for
Yeah, right
Keys?
now 4 for Camille, but I'm not in disagreement with you, Stephen. I think there is a compelling argument for the names that have been mentioned. So
I think we have an opportunity here. Maybe we circle back to this one and,
Okay.
and deal with
Sounds
the
good.
P&Z Board of Adjustment and Appeals.
Okay. Library board, anybody in disagreement with adding Mr. Ray there?
No, that's who I put there.
Okay, perfect. Next on the list is sustainability. And we have quite a few names here.
I like Shelley, Patrick, and Tracy.
That's exactly what I had.
Same.
Me too.
Shocking.
Does it matter the order? Does anybody have a preference? Those are the same names I had. Anybody have a preference in terms of who should be regular versus alternate?
I would put Tracy as the alternate and Shelley and Patrick as the regulars.
That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Any disagreement there?
No, I agree because I had Shelley and Patrick down. I had the third one blank, but I don't have any objection.
Okay, so sustainability, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Tracy as alternate. Okay. And then urban renewal.
I had penciled Kevin right in here.
Oh yeah.
This board's a little challenging because it doesn't really offer a substantive opportunity to contribute. So I would actually not put Kevin Wright on that board. It's not one that he applied for. I would choose one of the applicants who applied, noting that some of them might not exactly know what the board does. But that one meeting a year is not a hefty commitment.
But that was Mr. Wright that expressed interest, even though you had that conversation, right? Mr. Wright was, or not Mr. Wright, Mr.
Knight, right? Jay
Oh,
Knight.
it was Mr.
Knight.
Knight, yeah.
Mr. Knight did express interest, even though that we were only meeting once a year. So
yeah, my
I'm
concern
fine
with that is that he expressed interest in increasing the scope of the board, which I'm just one member, but based on my experience in the 2 meetings I've attended to date, there's not a lot of opportunity for that board right now to take action. There's just not a lot of land that is subject to urban renewal in Inglewood or potentially subject to urban renewal. So I still don't think that there's the opportunity of the type that he thinks there may be there.
And also, is that a quasi judicial board?
No,
I don't think it is.
No.
So it is possible that we could put somebody on 2 unless they were being appointed to a quasi judicial board. So I mean, Jay Knight, where did we put him? We put him somewhere already.
we had him up at the top potentially as, I think we have him in pencil.
Oh yeah, potentially on Budget Advisory Committee.
Yes.
We could do Jay Knight on the back and do Shane Smith on the URA. And then maybe Shane can reapply for another if he wants to do more than one.
I think that's a good fit.
So we're saying Jay Wright as part of BAC.
Jay Knight.
Jay Knight. Night, right? Too late in the night.
I can support that.
Okay, so Jay Knight as part of BAC. And then we had Shane as part of URA. Okay,
It's first choice.
sounds good. Then we got, okay. The one I'm looking at now that I'm scrolling is the CAC. Normally we have a ton of applicants there.
Yeah.
And this time it's the opposite. So actually, I don't want to go out of order. So should we just go back to the top and just try to figure out BOA now? Or where should we go?
BOAA?
I think once we figure these two sticking points out, we'll know what's left for CAC. So maybe
Okay.
that's the best. I think we're close on BOA and P&Z.
All right, let's, where should we start on, P&Z or BOA?
BOA.
I think the P&Z discussion kind of,
Didn't Miss Dickerson, so did Colleen express interest in BOAA? It felt
did.
like
Yes,
she
she
would
did.
get stronger.
Yes, I think she would be stronger there.
Interested. Who else applied for BOAA? Let's see.
Camille Keys.
Right, Miss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would put Sian on BOA and then Camille on P&Z. I think that's how I would split it.
Kind of seems straightforward to me.
Who on BOA?
Deanne Dickerson.
Okay. I think that's one that has plenty of structure for her.
Yes.
That I think she needs to have.
I'm fine with putting CN and BOA, and I'm still leaning towards Camille Keys for P&Z.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if I ask a question? I know he wasn't able to speak tonight. I guess I'll just bring it up. I know that Carson Green, his house is for sale, so I'm just wondering, does anybody know if he's moving back into Inglewood? I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is now that I'm looking at Miss Wright, who did express an interest in having a seat on Code Enforcement Advisory Committee. Is it possible for us to verify that Mr. Green is planning to stay in Inglewood, therefore he should get the reappointment, but if he's leaving Inglewood, open that up to Miss Wright? Anybody have I guess that would be something that, Jackie, that you can do over the next, before this comes back in front of us on a week from Tuesday. Just verify that Mr. Green is staying. If he is, then he'll stay with the reappointment. If not, then we could put Miss Wright there. Is everybody okay with that question?
Well, my question is, who knows? I mean, if he's got his house for sale, what if it doesn't sell? And he gives up the position?
Rita.
I think it's a reasonable question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might not have an answer, but I think it's reasonable to ask.
I think it is too. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already found another house and in Inglewood
Mm-hmm.
and has
Yeah,
it under
if you stay in
contract.
Inglewood, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We don't know that. Or will somebody know? Yeah.
My
Okay.
instinct is that if he wanted to be reappointed, he knows that you have to live in the city to serve. We should assume
Yeah,
that.
he knows that for sure.
Okay. Is it okay to ask the question or no?
No, I think it's okay to ask it.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Can I weigh in, Nathaniel?
Go ahead, Jackie.
He was very adamant about being on CAC when I spoke with him today.
Okay.
I can ask him again tomorrow. I don't know what answer I'll get.
Well, I guess my question is he planning on staying in Inglewood? I guess is my question.
Okay,
That-
I'll just ask if he's selling his house, are you planning on staying in Inglewood?
Yeah. Thank you, Jackie. So where was that at? Okay, so on BOA, are we okay with putting Ms. Dickerson? Any disagreement there? I don't see any disagreement. So moving on to, okay, so we got J Knight as BAC. I'll skip CAC for now. Election, we have, did we pencil in J Knight for election or?
I actually have Kim Wright.
Putting them on URA, right? Or no?
No, we have J Knight as BAC, so I guess.
Oh, that's right.
I have Kim Wright penciled in because she mentioned that one specifically.
Yeah, she did.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Which one for Kim Wright?
Election.
Okay.
All right. And I'm just gonna pencil in Kim Wright potentially as a MFCEAC. Yeah. Just making a note. Okay. Next one. So we got EHA. We have Sherry Stinson, Mallory. We have Mitch, Parks and Rec. We have Jenna and Emma, P&Z. I'm still leaning towards Camille, but do we have four for Camille? I guess that's my question.
We do, yeah.
I think that while we want everyone who serves on a board and commission to learn something and get something out of it. I think also with that one, how heavy the workload is and how important the quasi judicial is, having someone with a professional background that I think would be a real add to the board just feels like still really compelling to me. So that's why I'm still have her here.
Sweet. Oh no, it is the alternate member. I was gonna say, okay. All right, so we still have four for Camille then at this point. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct.
All right. Let me go then to library. We have Chris Ray, sustainability, Patrick and Shelley, Tracy as the alternate, URA, Shane Smith. All right, so that still leaves CAC. And we have 2 spots open.
I don't know.
I'm a little bit confused about Mark Oganowski. He did list CAC as his second choice and expressed commitment to be at the meetings, but I know that that's been a challenge in the past. So maybe in the alternate position, I'm just questioning that still.
I would,
it seems to me that he was on NERP at one time too and did the same thing. All of a sudden didn't or quit showing up for meetings, showed up for 1 or 2, and then that was it. And we never heard from him again.
I would hesitate to put him anywhere where he could potentially cause a problem for quorum issues or anything like that. So.
Good statement, Joe. Good summary.
That's why I wonder if the alternate position makes sense.
Like that.
And leave one of them open, or do we have anybody?
The only person then who we wouldn't have placed is Kevin Wright. I'm not sure if he's interested in CAC, but we could see.
His background, I was pretty impressed by what he shared tonight. I don't know, something tells me he probably has some value to add that, that would be a real delight for the group that we probably don't know of yet. I don't know, but he seemed relatively open to helping wherever he could be helpful, no?
I don't think cultural arts is a fit for him.
No,
that is not a fit for him.
Not that one. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if Shane Smith has a background in. I don't think he did. I think he was
Real estate, I think, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. More finance background. Because I keep looking at the names from sustainability and Parks and Rec, potentially moving one of them to CAC, but they seem to be where they should be.
We could see, since Shane Smith is going to only be on one that meets very rarely, if he's interested. Looking at my notes, he did talk about, lots of volunteer work. He loves that the city's a beautiful place, wants to make it a great place to live. It's worth a shot, maybe.
And maybe put him as an alternate, as you stated.
Well,
I'd probably put him as the regular.
Oganowski is the alternate, and this Shane is.
See, I don't know if I feel comfortable putting Mr. Oganowski as the alternate.
Can we ask Mr. Wright if he's interested in CAC?
Or what about Kim Wright on CAC?
And Kevin on election?
No, she could be on both. Rarely are they going to meet on election commission.
Or where are we putting Kevin then?
Not a spot.
Are we open to that, to having Kim Wright on CAC and Kevin on election?
I'm open. to
Mayor, Election Commission is a quasi judicial board.
I know that's why
Quasi
we're having,
judicial board and they only meet one time.
but that would be, but that's why we're stating Kevin though. Kevin, we don't have Kevin somewhere else at the moment.
Yeah.
And if we have Kim on CAC, then she can be on the. We have her on 2 boards, right? No, we don't. We're moving. Well, potentially, well, yeah, I have her penciled in as in light pencil and CEAC potentially, depending on the answer we get.
Yeah, I don't think we should probably consider that one.
No, I'm not. But are we open to that then? Having Shane as the regular or the alternate on CAC, having Kim as the regular or the alternate on CAC, Kevin on the election.
Yeah.
I think Jackie needs to ask to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I think we're good here. I think in a sense. Do you want me to read them off?
No, I think we're good.
Good.
Did you get that, Jackie?
Can I just run them down real quick? Sorry. Make sure you have it.
Yep, let's go.
So
When you're ready.
POA, I have Cian. For budget, I have James and then Jay Knight. Code enforcement is Carson, Robert, and Sonia. I'm going to email Carson Green about his house. If he's not going to stay in the city, you were going to put Kim on that one.
Correct.
Okay. Cultural arts, I've got Shane, Erica, Teresa, Leah, and then Kim Wright as the alternate.
Correct.
And then the election is Kevin Wright, and I'm gonna email him also to see if he wants to be on that. Downtown development, we got Diane and Brad. Inglewood housing, we have Mary Mills, Madison, and Sherry. Mally, we have Mitchell. Parks and Rec, we have Emma and Jenna. I've got P&Z, I've got Camille. Public Library Board, I got Chris. Sustainability, I've got Shelley, Patrick, Tracy, and Urban Renewal, I've got Shane Smith.
The only thing I would add is, Jackie, can you, when you ask if Kevin is comfortable serving on election commission, will you also reach out and see if Kim is okay with cultural arts? Because that wasn't on her list that she mentioned tonight. She just mentioned that she was interested in a lot of different ones.
Yeah, yep, I'm going to verify with Carson. And I think Shane Smith, we also had to verify because he did not have CAC down.
Yep.
Correct.
And then Kim Wright for CAC, or CAC. And Kevin for election board. So those 4 emails I'll send out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah,
Okay.
looks like you got it right.
And again, it's not set in stone, so next Tuesday you guys can move some things around if need be.
Exactly. Perfect. All right. Anything else, anyone? I don't think so. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for your time tonight. See you guys next Tuesday. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Have a good night.